I'm still sick. Anyway, so I'm gonna sound a little funny as I try to enunciate enough to be heard. Hot tea is really the only thing that helps. So, today I'm just going to blog about why I think Dumbledore is evil. Because, I was reading a random fan fiction while waiting for my ride, and I'm like, why in the world do we not just admit that Dumbledore is evil? If you have read the books, then you know that there are things that the movies do not put in. However, either way, he's fucking demented. Okay, so first, he knows that Sirius did not have a trial. He does nothing. This might not be a lot on its own, because a lot of people do nothing, right? But this is supposed to be the great Albus Dumbledore. Yes, I know I sound funny, but the sides of my throat are swelling together. I'm sorry. So, anyway. So, we know that he's got an eye on Harry the whole time. He's got spies watching him, he's got somebody making sure that he's safe from the magical community. And it's pretty safe to say that he knows Harry is being abused the entire time. He knows Harry is being abused. He knows he's not being fed properly. And instead, he does nothing. And this was after putting him there in the first place. After he's already been told by McGonagall that these are the worst sort of people and he should not leave Harry here. Now, while he does keep an eye on him, he literally does nothing about it. Like, nothing. Ever. Like, he could literally just... I don't know. It implies some sort of legal responsibility that he has some of Harry's things, some of his parents' things. That, he might have even, it implies some sort of legal responsibility. That he has his fucking bank key. His Gringotts key. To even give it to Hagrid, to take it to Gringotts. This would imply that he would be sort of like a magical guardian or whatever. This at least implies that he has enough sway and enough pull to stop this from happening. And there has to be, some other way besides leaving him with them. But, like with the Horcrux, Dumbledore says and does nothing. His whole plan all along is just... And don't even get me started. It's actually talked about. Some level of stuff is talked about in the books. Dumbledore monitors the castle. As headmaster, he has access. He can keep track of the students. And the students are actually speculating how far that goes. While this doesn't last long, and it doesn't go deep, this would imply that he knows. He knows about the Chamber of fucking Secrets. He may not know where it is or be able to find it, but he knows that there's a little girl who died. Process of elimination, if some first years can do it, he should be able to do it. Now, that's not all, though. Because if he's got all this monitoring shit around him, he should know where Ginny is going, or at least be able to guess the general vicinity. He should know that something's happening to her. There are ways to check for this stuff in the Harry Potter universe. He does, again, nothing. Dumbledore is not evil because he actively does something. It is because he does nothing. He has all this power, and he sits on it. And he lets everybody else do it. And then Don't even get me started on the first book. These are challenges that a group of first years took down. First years. None of these kids had any sort of advanced knowledge, even Hermione. This was never going to keep an adult out. Was it even meant to? And this is actually a direction a lot of fans have gone in whenever they're writing fan fiction and whatnot, because how was this even really meant to keep adults out if 3 first-year children got through it? And they were such simple challenges. These weren't highly advanced challenges. I mean, they were dangerous, but they were actually pretty simple. Ridiculously simple for the world. So, my question is, why could 3 first years get through? And why does Dumbledore, even have his father's invisibility cloak? Shouldn't that be, in, his dad's estate? Where Dumbledore's not supposed to have access if he doesn't have some sort of legal ability to do so, because he has some sort of legal responsibility? That's the thing. It all goes back to that. He has access to Harry's vault. Because he has the key. If you have the key, you have access to the vault. Unless, it's very specific ones that are bloodlocked. Harry's is not bloodlocked. So, if you're going by the reality of the universe, he's had his Gringotts key, he's got his family heirlooms. What else does he have? Really makes you wonder. And this whole time, he's got some sort of ability to, know when shenanigans are going on in the school. And he lets some of it go on because it amuses him. But then, some of it really makes you wonder. Sorry, I have an appointment later and I'm trying not to puke everywhere. So, he literally just lets stuff happen. I mean, he knows all this shit goes on with the Dursleys, and for me that was the biggest thing. What were you doing? This whole time that you knew through all the books that Harry had this Horcrux in his head. Dumbledore is, supposed to be, the champion for the light. He's supposed to be the paragon of good. But he has known this whole time that there is a Horcrux in a little boy's head. And you could argue that he's been grooming this kid. Because, what else do we even call it? And then he knows Harry has to die to destroy it. At no point in time did he try to find another way. He just accepted it. He did not tell anyone about it. He did not tell Harry himself. This was not the actions of a man who just wanted a kid to be a kid. Because he wasn't even doing that to begin with. He didn't remove him from a bad situation. Kept him in it. These were not the actions of a man with this kid's best interests at heart. He had other people. And it even actually comes out that, in the absence of... They only touch on this very briefly, and then they never go in any sort of... Never do anything with it. But that he actually should have gone to, Neville's parents. So, in the absence of that, he should have, gone with Neville. So, why was he with the Dursleys? Because Dumbledore said so? That's really what it amounts to. And Dumbledore said so knowing that this was a bad, abusive place where he was starved and beaten. And a lot of shit happened to him. So, I don't see how he can be like the paragon of light unless you're saying that the light doesn't really guarantee goodness. And then let's go into the history that's being confirmed about him and Grindelwald. I'm gonna end this here because I need to get my stomach back under control. And I have to talk to people later, so I need to save my voice. Anyway, yeah. Reasons why Dumbledore. I should really just compile a more specific list, but I didn't write anything down. I just decided to talk. Because I was like, reasons why Dumbledore is. He's not good. He's evil. He does these things, you know. I've talked to people where they're like, good and evil are like perception, and I'm like, well, they're actions. Light and dark mean nothing. And there have been some other people who apparently agree with me because they've written some fan fictions that were actually pretty good. Like, going into that, where, you know, yes, Voldemort was an evil fucker, but Dumbledore ain't no paragon of goodness either. He's a stuck-up old man who thinks he knows best for everybody and has way more power than he does wisdom or brains. You could argue that these were honest mistakes, but how far do you go with that before you say, yeah, that makes him evil? Because he is literally justifying this. And there is no justification for this that can make it good. So yeah, that's me saying that Dumbledore is evil. I guess if you disagree with me, tell me why. But yeah, Dumbledore is evil.